Radio Talk Online with your host, Melanie Fine.
This is Melanie Fine at Radio Talk Online. Today we're talking with Doug Balog, broker associate with KW Luxury Homes by Keller Williams on El Paseo in Palm Desert, California. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you. Glad to be with you today.
Thank you for doing this interview with us. I wanted to start by asking you about your experience in real estate.
Well, actually, I started in Canada, in the province of Saskatchewan, city of Regina, and started out as a broker at a very young age. And then I went on to Edmonton, and in 1975, and I had a commercial real estate business for some 14 years, and then I was involved with a group that purchased all the RE/MAX offices in Edmonton, and I was general manager and broker for that organization. I sold my interest and got involved with a Canadian national independent broker by the name of NRS, National Real Estate Services, and moved to California as the executive vice president and responsible for opening real estate offices throughout the United States, and it was just going a little too slow, so we did the acquisition of Red Carpet Real Estate and Gallery of Homes, and later sold that organization.
Wonderful. So you came to California to further this business, or you were planning to move to California anyway?
As a childhood dream, it was always to live in California. When you grow up in the frozen north, when the snowbanks are higher than the vehicles in your driveway, you want to get out. And I had a dream of living in California when I saw the hot rod magazines and movie magazines and beaches. So that was a great enticement. And
Wonderful.
So my first home was in Laguna Beach, and was there for 8 years, and then I moved out to the desert in 1997. I've been in the real estate business here since January 1999.
January 1999. And how does the desert compare to your dreams of the California lifestyle?
It is absolutely wonderful. When you have out of 365 days, 360 days of sunlight, compared to snow-driven ditches and cold weather and cloud, it's pretty nice. It's wonderful. Actually, it is paradise here.
Yeah, it's one of the vacation destinations of the world. It's a privilege to actually live here. So, what type of properties do you represent?
Well, I represent. We have a team that are located on El Paseo in Palm Desert, as you said. And we represent general brokerage, which is spearheaded by my daughter, Marnie Balog. And then I'm responsible for luxury homes and project sales for new home developments. So that's my focus, is in the luxury home business, not only locally, but spreading my tentacles out to other areas in the real estate community.
So you sell properties outside of California as well, or you more represent sellers outside of California?
I represent buyers. Pardon me, yes, you're correct. I represent sellers in the local market, from buyers outside of the country and the continent that are interested in acquiring property in the Palm Springs area. And
about what percentage are those that are international buyers? What would you say?
Well, the last 3 or 4 years has been a great concentration of Canadian buyers coming to this area, and having been a Canadian in the real estate business in the four western provinces, I have a pretty good referral network, and that has been a big part of my business. Last year, my Canadian buyers represented about 60% of my business. The year before that, it was relatively the same. So it's been significant. I've also sold homes to couples from London, England. I've worked with people from Brazil, from Portugal, and France. So today with the internet, there are so many buyers and sellers outside of our local community that are looking for information in different areas, and with that, of course, somewhere along the line, my name will come up on the one of their websites.
Wonderful. Now, do you think that it's because of your Canadian connections exclusively that you have such a large percentage of Canadian buyers, or is that really the nature of the luxury home market in the desert?
I think it's a basis of the luxury market. There are a lot of great agents in the Palm Springs area that represent a lot of Canadian buyers. With my commercial real estate background and my background with residential companies in Canada, of course, I know a good number of real estate practitioners as well as people that I did business with. And today I'm still doing business with people that I worked with some 30 years ago. So it's nice to be able to visit with them and get involved in their real estate acquisitions in this area.
Right. Now, obviously, the real estate has been a major issue in all corners of our country the past few years. So it's probably better having this conversation now than perhaps a year or two ago. So what is going on with Palm Springs Realty these days?
Well, I just pulled up some information that's more relevant to today, but just to kind of go back a little bit and preface my comments. In 1996, the average house prices were somewhere in the $180,000 range, and they peaked in 2007 at $476,000, and about 3 years ago they're at 180. Now they're up in the mid 200 range. So they're showing quite a significant increase in the last 2 years. Particularly, the prices have started to move upward because the inventory was dropping, and a lot of the entry-level buyers that were faced with foreclosures or short sales have pretty much been taken out of the market in the last year. So today, you can break it down into single-family homes or condos. And what's important and what we look at, and particularly when I'm working with builders as to where do we build next, is taking a look at the absorption rates. And just to give you an example, in single-family homes, there are currently 1,603 properties for sale. Now, I'm referring to the major cities throughout the Coachella Valley: Palm Springs, Cathedral City, Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, and those major areas is what I'm focusing on for this particular discussion. But there's 1,603 single-family homes for sale. With that, under 500,000, which is our strongest market right now, there's 727 homes, and from 500,000 to 1 million, 532 homes, over 1,346. Now, out of those 1,603, there are totally contingent and pending sales of 882, and over the last 6 months, 3,441 homes have sold. Now, when you break that down, under 500,000, 2,464 homes sold under that $500,000 mark, from $500,000 to 1,738, and over 1,260, which is the market that I'm focusing on. And if you look at the absorption rate right now, we're selling about 19 homes per day over this last 6 months. And with that, we have 2.8 months of inventory if there were no new listings put on as of today, and at the same pace of the market, we would be out of inventory in 2.8 months. And a normal market as well, from 0 to 5 months is really a buyer or a seller's market. 5 to 7 months of inventory is kind of a transition area, and then 7 months and more, it's definitely a buyer's market. Now, in the condo business, which is a big part of our area because a lot of second homes are being purchased by people looking to this area, there's a total of 833 homes currently for sale, and the contingent or pending sales that are under contract, 349, and in the last 6 months, 1,668 homes have sold. So when you look at that, and even in the condo market, those are the biggest sales under 500,000, because that is really the secondary home market that's really of interest to a lot of Western Canadians, Pacific Northwest buyers. And now the strongest market coming out here is the Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego. They're selling their homes over there, and their dream was to, come to the desert at one point. And when you sell a home for a condo in Los Angeles for $1.5 million, you can come out here and buy a mansion for $500,000 by comparison to the same size. So we're getting a lot of that market. But the absorption rate on condos, right now there are 9.2 sales per day based on the last 6 months, and there is 3 months of inventory left in the condo business. So, when you look at those two facets of the industry in the strongest parts of the Coachella Valley, we've really, it's becoming a seller's market. Sellers are starting to put their homes back on the market. At one time they were at a lower price, and now they're ready to sell. And we're getting an influx of inventory, and we're hoping to increase our overall inventory over the next 2 or 3 months to take care of the business that's going to come during our season, which is from December 1 or November, actually, through to the end of April.
Right. This is supposed to be the slow season, the summer in the desert.
It's supposed to be. The last 2 years in my business, it has been as strong as March and April. And we have been busy all this summer again. It's the whole business environment, not only in the real estate industry, but other industries that I associate with, they are developing a business, and they're excited about what's happened this summer and looking forward to a great year coming up.
Wonderful. Now, mortgage rates are quite down still, even though they actually went up quite a bit, relatively speaking. What is that doing to the market, you think?
Well, with mortgage rates, it really eliminates the more entry-level buyers. But what it's doing as well, the mortgage companies now and the banks are looking at, buyers putting in more down payment. And I think that buyers are looking at the acquisition of a home at a totally different level. And they're having to put money in, so they're a little bit more conservative in what they're buying. But they are still buying even with the interest rates going up. And we don't know whether that's going to continue or not. The predictions are that the interest rates are going to go up, and it's going to slow up the purchase, a bit. However, in this area, because it's a resort community, so much of our acquisitions have been by cash, and or a huge down payment and low debt service. So our area is a little peculiar in that sense.
And so I know that a lot of the Canadians come down here and buy with cash. Is that also happening from Los Angeles and Orange County that you were speaking of?
Yes, it is. It's starting to grow there, but the difference is that the American buyer can take advantage of a mortgage credit, mortgage interest credit. So
right.
Whereas Canadians, they don't. So that's why they're buying for cash, and you're still going to get loans, but much higher down payments, and enough that they can get some write-offs from their mortgage interest.
And I imagine cash wins. If you have a number of offers on a house, usually the cash buyer is the one that wins out. Is that usually the case?
In most cases, yes. And the reason for that is not only the fact that it's cash and we don't have to worry about appraisals because the values have changed so much in the last few years, and it's difficult sometimes to even support some of the prices, but you want the property. And the other advantage is that cash buyers want to close quick. So they'll close anywhere within 10 to 15 days. And I've sold properties over $2 million that the buyer buys it and they want to close within 10 days, and we're able to facilitate that. So that, from a seller's perspective, they know that in 2 weeks they've either got their money or they don't, and they're going to take a chance on it because of the price. And the buyer gets a little better price because it is cash and a quick closing.
Right. And is it a quick closing because they're here on vacation and they want to settle it before they go back?
That's part of it, but most part of it is getting the right deal.
Getting the right deal.
Yeah, Canadians look for deals, and there's a real, there's a little different philosophical view by Canadians on buying property. They don't like to leverage with financing. They like to pay for their property, pay cash, and be done with it. Whereas we, with our mortgage interests, of course, our incentive is to finance for tax reasons. So there's a little difference there.
Right. Now, how is it that people find you versus other realtors? How do they know that you're the one that should represent them?
Well, I think that a lot of people today, before they even look at buying a home, the first thing they do is they go to the internet and they start scoping out and looking for homes, and they'll pick out areas. And if we're positioned on the internet at a certain point doing a certain type of business, of course, my name will come up, or through other affiliations that we have with some of the different links, that will come up. A good part of my business, and the majority of it, is referral. I've been in this business for over 30 years. So you develop a client base, and my experience in the industry throughout Western Canada has certainly been a bonus for me. There's no question about it. I don't get all of them because there's a lot of great realtors here who service and look after the Canadian buyer very, very well. So it's just, I guess it's just being able to position yourself on the internet and position yourself on a referral base.
Right. Now, the internet, is that devoid of that referral base? It seems more impersonal. It seems like it might be more difficult for a buyer who's looking around to really know who the top realtors are. Are there ways that you can find out on the internet? Well,
quite often on most internet and most websites, there's a little story or a bio of each of the agents, and they'll find somebody that they're comfortable with, and that's usually how it happens. And often I've had buyers that have been referred to me. They still go on the internet. They look for a property, but they'll get in touch with me. And the internet is just one source of getting to know someone. The second part of that is that buyers, when they actually come to the desert, they want to see somebody. They want to be face-to-face. So as much research as is done on the internet, this business is still a one-on-one personal basis, because there's a lot of money being invested, and they want to know who they're dealing with and ensure that they're dealing with somebody with integrity and skills and knowledge, and provide good information for them, and that they feel comfortable when they make that decision to purchase a home.
Right. So there are many ways that leads can come in, but it's that one-on-one relationship that seals the deal.
Absolutely.
This is wonderful, Doug. Thank you so much for the information you've provided. If our listeners want to get in touch with you, how would they do so?
Well, my offices are on El Paseo and Palm Desert. My phone number is 760-601-5151. And I also have a toll-free number, which is 877. Oh my gosh, I forgot my. Sorry.
I have it here. 590-5151.
Does
that sound right?
That's my toll-free number as well. Or they can reach me on my email, which is doug@dougbalog.com. And my website as well is dougbalog.com.
Thank you so much, Doug. This will be a great interview for people to listen to or are interested in the home buying market in the desert area. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for the time you've given me.